that last week we remembered Jesus' trip across the sea to the other side, to the region of the Gerasenes in the land of the Gentiles, where he cast a legion of demons out of a man in the region of the Gerasenes. When Jesus then came back across the sea in the boat, when he came on land, a great crowd gathered around him. And in the crowd, there was a man, a leader of the synagogue, named Jairus. And he came and he fell at Jesus' feet and he begged him, saying, "My little girl is at the point of death. Would you please come and lay your hands on her so that she might be made well and live?" And Jesus went with him.
And a large crowd followed after him and pressed in against him. Now there was a woman who had a hemorrhage that was bleeding for more than 12 years. She had suffered much and endured under many physicians, and she had spent all that she had. But wasn't getting better and rather had gotten worse. She had heard of Jesus. And so she came up from behind him. She touched the hem of his cloak. For she said to herself, "If I just touch the hem of his garment, I will be healed." And immediately, her hemorrhage stopped bleeding, and she felt in her body that she was healed permanently. And immediately Jesus felt power flow forth from him. And he looked around him and he said, "Who touched me?" And his disciples said, "You see all these people around you and you're asking who it is that touched you?" But Jesus looked around throughout the crowd. And the woman, understanding what had happened to her, and knowing she had defiled him by touching him while she was bleeding and could be punished severely, she came to him in fear and trembling. And she fell before him and she told him the whole truth. And Jesus looked up at her and said, "My daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease."
While he was still speaking, they came from the leader of the synagogue's home. And they said to him, "Why trouble the teacher anymore? Your daughter is dead." Jesus overheard what they were saying, and he said to him, Don't be afraid. Only believe. And he took with him only Peter and James and John. And they went to the home of the leader of the synagogue. And when they got to his house, they saw a great commotion. And people were weeping and wailing. And when Jesus had entered into the house, he said to them, "Why? Why are you weeping and making a tumult and carrying on like this? The girl isn't dead. She's just sleeping." Well, they all laughed at him. But he put them out of the house. And he took with him Peter, James, and John, those who were with him, and the mother and father of the girl. And he went in to where she was. And he went over to her, and he took her by the hand, and he said to her, "Talitha, cum." That means, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." And she got up, and she started walking around the room. She was 12 years old. And they were all utterly astonished. He strictly charged them to tell no one about this. And then he suggested that they might want to give her something to eat.